In Awesome Treasures, we raise transformational leaders. So this is exactly where we're going to start off. We're going, I have gifts for people who interact, don't I? I do. I really do. How many of us have read Beyond My Dreams? You have. You have. You bought it with your own money. You were given. Okay. So you've read Beyond My Dreams. Can you give a hand to my GM as she brings a stack of Beyond My Dreams here for me? Now, it's going to be author-signed exclusives. You can't find them anywhere else in the world except this room today. The relevance of our faith to the marketplace. Can someone tell me what the marketplace is? We've started. Marketplace. You come from a hot church where they teach you those things, so you can tell us what the marketplace is. Who is bold? You see now. Marketplace. Give her a hand as she speaks just to encourage her. It's not easy holding the mic.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Ma, for the opportunity. A marketplace is anywhere you have influence to sell yourself or sell what you do. So, for instance, your workplace is an example of a marketplace.
Okay, do we all agree with her? Okay, no, we don't agree. Yes, we do. Downstairs, you agree with her? Okay.
Well,
all right, we can hear. So let's say that the marketplace is where you do business, where you engage with the world, should we say. All right, so how come with Nigeria the way it is, we seem to have the most churches in the whole of anywhere? I think we have the most saturation of churches anywhere that I know. Every street corner, except Gambia. Gambia takes the cake, but well, every street corner, there is a church. How come there's so much corruption, things are so wrong, and there's so many churches? Let's start with JT. It seems good to go.
I think that what had happened over time is that the concept of church has not clearly been differentiated from the concept of kingdom. And what I mean by that is that if you think kingdom, you can think marketplace. That the church is an empowerment unit for people to function in the marketplace. So the marketplace, like you said, would be your offices, your business areas, the runways in Paris, every other place. But basically, the church has really been a place that has housed people, but it's meant to be a place to equip and release people. So I think that that's been the imbalance, really.
Okay. So it is that because we have not yet understood what kingdom really means. Tonya, what do you think?
First of all, we have to understand why we are Christians and who we are as Christians. A lot of times people think that Christianity stops or starts and stops in the four walls of a church, a building. But Christianity is a way of life, right? It is living the life of Christ. It means Christ-like. So when we live here, this environment where we are all claiming to be spiritual and Christians, the whole idea is that when you live here, you also remain a Christian. So in everything you do, in the work that you do, in your marketplace, basically, you still represent Christ. And it's not representing Christ as per you are the person who is wearing turban or the person who is not wearing all those things are not Christianity. Christianity is the love of God, right? So I always say that if someone comes to me and says to me that, oh, my name is XYZ, I'm a Christian, I have a problem with you because I'm supposed to see Christ in you. True or false? So that is how we're supposed to live our life. That is how we'll begin to change society. Because a lot of times, people are saying, you see Christians all over the place. No, because they think that when you come to church, that is when you should be holy, spiritual, living the way God wants us to live. But no, Christianity is outside. We only come to church to refire, to re-equip ourselves, so that we can be able to go out there and live the life that God wants us to live. Thank you.
Okay, you can guess that he ran for political office, can't you? No, he did. You ran for what?
So I ran to be the chairman of Abuja Municipal Area Council. We didn't win, but we're coming again.
And you know the beautiful thing, he ran. So one young person saw him running and thought, I can do it too. You understand what I'm saying? It's amazing. So then what is kingdom? Because they've used it as a term that we're just supposed to know. The kingdom church. Can someone tell me what kingdom is? If you're accurate, first try, you're getting a book. I don't care if nobody claps for you. What is kingdom? I'm going to give you 5 seconds. You don't get it, I'm bringing it to the panel. If you know you're raising your hand, raise it well. Give it to him. Young man, give us your name and the concept. What is kingdom? Clap for the ushers as they sharply give him the mic. Thank you. All right. Okay.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jonah, and to define kingdom, I'll take us back to when Jesus said the kingdom of God is at hand. So I would see the kingdom as anywhere where the influence of God is being felt on earth, in basic terms. So anywhere where I can feel God at work, whether it's in the office, it's in politics, it's anywhere, that is the kingdom. That's the kingdom showing on earth at that point in time. Thank you.
No, you didn't get it too. Because what it means is that the kingdom of Oman, God is at work. The kingdom of Brunei, God is at work. The kingdom of Saudi Arabia, God is at work. He almost got it, but this, some people will soon tell me what it means there. I said, what is the definition of kingdom? I did not ask for the definition of the kingdom of God. Give the guy there.
Good afternoon, everyone. The kingdom of God is basically God's influence.
You see this is how people misbook. Now give it to the lady. Can you give her a hand? What is the definition of kingdom?
Good day, ma. I'm Timira. Kingdom is where dominion is being expressed.
Can you give her a hand? You see now. Allow me to be led. Your name?
Timira.
Timira, can you come forward? As I give you this limited edition, author signed, anywhere you don't see the signature, it is a fake. It's exclusive author signed edition of, and this book is actually about the kingdom. Some people don't get it, but you will. Can you give Timira a hand? So the kingdom is wherever there is dominion. All right, then, we're coming to Dami next. So, if the kingdom is where you have dominion, and somehow you're in the government of Lagos State, have you ever found any conflicts between the kingdom that you are from and the kingdom you're operating in?
So, where I work, obviously, is government. And one of the things you have to understand about government is that it's not going to be all out there, that this is what they do and this is who I am. So, but what you must do is that you must go equipped and ready. Because whether you like it or not, it's a battle between light and darkness. But never be afraid, because wherever you are, as long as you are light, you would always shine. So for me, it was a thing of, what am I carrying? Almost like what you said, I know what I carry. So going in there, I'm mindful that this is what you carry, and what you carry must dominate in that place.
So have you ever, you see, this is where you and I are different. I'm a hard interviewer. He gave us some very nice bands, and I like it. So the question was, have you ever had any, I'm training you to interview, you are taking over from me, maybe the next awesome. So watch as I'm doing it. Yeah. Have you ever had any conflict between what you carry within you and what you operate in?
Yes, so I've had. So let me give it so at the end of the year, there was a particular, it involves money, so I'll say, there was a particular allocation which was there, and the authority. And that allocation, because I sit as the head, I have a right as well to say, okay, this allocation can be allocated to my office. And by the time I looked at that allocation, it was exactly what my wife was going to use to give birth in America. The exact bill, exact amount. So your spirit is telling you now, this is the money.
Yeah.
But the spirit said, no, don't touch it. This money is for your staff. I distributed it to the staff, and then about a day after, someone calls me and said, do you remember me? And I said, I don't. He said, oh, you helped me secure this, and I just wanted to say thank you. So what he brought to me was exactly the amount that I required.
Fantastic. That really, as much as I love Dami, I'm going to let it slide because he's my guest. That is called a temptation and not a conflict. Please clap for me for my English language. Abi DDK. Because DDK is part of us here, so she's there supporting me. Now, can you give us a conflict that you face? Because she was in government as what?
Executive Secretary of the Environmental Trust Fund and Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Public Utilities.
The title is plates. You need to... Bad belly people are reigning in front. There are people here amongst us whose boss will say, can you get me a packet of cigarettes? And I say, sorry, I cannot. I am of the Living Church of Christ, of the Tower of Babel, of holiness. And he is the one who wants to smoke the cigar. It's not you. Anyway, get the tape from the last awesome. You understand what I mean. How did Daniel cope in Babylon? Thank you.
And so what I just did was, so knowing fully when the deadline for at the end of the year, there's a cutoff for getting anything from finance. So I know they're waiting for me to sign it. So the day before, I know it's the deadline. I just tell them I have an external meeting. So I can't sign it because I'm not in the office. And that's how, and then the conflict, and this is just a side note, is like a lot of people get sucked into this because they give you the impression that because your salary is not as it should be, this is the way you compensate yourself. This is the way you get ahead by getting favors. But the difference is that you know that the person who sent you is not providing for you based on the salary, and he's not promoting you based on what they think you should be doing. And so that is what gave me the boldness to be able to circumvent and work around being overtly corrupt. Or being corrupt, not even overtly, being corrupt.
Let us just appreciate her for her boldness. Can you just appreciate her for her boldness? Okay, so I was at a meeting with the Archbishop of Canterbury. I like the way that sounds. So we were in the same room, and he was talking, and I too could talk. So we had a meeting together in Lambeth Palace. Go check it out. Fancy. Yeah, very. It's not bougie. Bougie is new money. I'm old money. It is what it is. So he said that about 25% of youth from 17 to 13 in the UK are depressed. 7 to 13. 7. How does a 7-year-old get depressed? Does he even know he has a mind? When we were 7, apart from like my own kind of parents who would engage you, my father used to talk to me at 3 as if I was a human being. You know, what do you think? I too would talk. You know, that kind of thing. Well, because they're professors, my mom and dad, so they have a way of behaving. Most other people did not even know their children existed at 7. If they talk, it's like, killing we. You know, so how does a 7-year-old get depressed? Then I met a psychiatrist who said a 9-year-old committed suicide in Nigeria, and left a note behind and said, call Dr. So and so. So that alone, after he died, put his mom in the hospital for about 3 months. Just the whole idea that her son was depressed and she did not know. What do you think is the cause of this epidemic of depression now? Can somebody tell me what they think? You know, any answer? If you're at the back, it's okay, I will call you. Middle. All right, let me be honest, I'm going to favor guys. I'm just going to favor guys. I have 2 boys. It's just the way it works. Can you clap for guys? I like her. She still kept her hand up that whatever you like, you should favor. I'm going to talk. The lady in the red turban. What is causing this epidemic of depression sharply?
I think it's a lack of fulfillment. If the person doesn't feel fulfilled, despite money, despite friends, it's lack of fulfillment.
I can see that people are disagreeing. It's not lack of fulfillment. So they're fulfilled, but they just are depressed. Can somebody look into your phones, give me the dictionary definition of fulfilled. This is why YX scores are going lower and lower. You cannot be fulfilled and depressed. You are mixing 2 things together. You can sit down, clap for... She's looking at herself in the screen. I can't believe it. I think she was looking... I didn't know that turban was quite that angle. Man, we'll find Sha. Man, we'll tell live streaming. Gosh, I saw her looking at herself. All right. You cannot be fulfilled and depressed.
My name is Tosi. Why I feel the 9-year-old probably committed suicide was probably because of social media influence and peer pressure. That's why I feel he could have committed suicide.
They don't agree. Oh, somebody cannot commit. He's desperate. Giving the mic. The man in green.
Well, I think some of the things that makes teenagers to look depressed is sometimes when they lack proper attention, maybe from parents. Sometimes, also, you could be depressed when you feel lonely and among your peer groups, and you feel that probably you don't have what other has. So there are several things that can make you depressed, especially in the place of work. You keep failing and nobody is encouraging you and all that. Thank you. Please clap for me.
Okay, he gets a book. The reviews are off the hook. So do we agree with him that lack of attention? Okay, what kind of attention would you like to see from who, no? Lack of attention from who? From who? Parents! Shocker. You friends, please make up your mind. Parents handle. Friends handle. Parents, okay. You want attention from your friends. There's no help for you. So you want attention from your parents. What kind of attention would you like? Not you, but your friend would like from her parents, or your friend would like from his parent. In yellow. What kind of attention would you want from your parent? It's a very personal question.
Okay,
or your friend would want
my
from their
parents to pay attention to what I want and what I need from them. I need them to pay attention to me. When I speak, I want to be heard. I don't just want to be bullied around just because you're my parents or just because you're my mother. Do what I want you to do. No.
Is she paying school fees?
Yes, she is. No, there's a level we will get to. No, there is a level she will get to. Kids these days will always ask questions.
I'm joking.
So there is a level that we would get to. I'd like to know why. You understand why you didn't need to do this? What benefit will it be to me and to you? Not just because it benefits you alone.
Clap for Joanne. Clap for Joanne. I was just teasing. I told you, I said at 3, my father would talk to me as if I'm a human being. So Jumoke, what do you think? Who cares what I think at 3, really? What can I think? What do I know about anything? I too will talk. I think that maybe that we... Pastor Adenowo knows my parents. You know how they are. They listen to me. In fact, when you were with us, they were listening to you too. We're listeners. I listen to my son. So you want to be listened to, you want to be heard. You want to be reasoned with. So in one word, you want to be respected. Do you think respect should be earned, or we should just give it to you automatically? It should be earned. I like that. The panel needs to give the crowd a hand. It's a fantastic crowd. There's a guy in that corner who wants to tell us something that you're going to give us 2 answers. What you think you need from your parents, the kind of attention you need. Because the parents are listening now. 2, what can you do to earn your parents' respect? If you don't know, that's fine. Somebody else will take it.
What I want them to do is to listen to me more and to understand the things that I'm actually going through. Because there are some times that they just jump into what they think that's happened in the past. They don't actually want to understand what's going on now. So what I want them to do is to actually listen to me more, or try to understand me and let me actually express my ideas more.
Clap for him.
How I actually want to earn their respect is by actually respecting them, first of all. Trying to hear that side, first of all, before I jump to conclusion, even thinking that what they are saying is wrong. Because they actually know more than me, and I have to accept that. But there are some things that I actually know. Yeah, no.
A little.
It's the true fact. They actually know more than me, but there are some things that I actually experience that I want them to understand that they don't know yet. So I believe they can also learn from me too, if they listen to me.
So we're going to come back to the panel, and I want to see if there's some congruence. That's what we call it, some togetherness in what we think. So Dami, what do you think a parent can do for a child? What kind of attention? We've heard listen, heard, Well, you have a young son now. You need to get ready. This is Expo.
Yeah, I think, because just sitting here, I'd already started to imagine how when I leave here, I don't want to do any other thing except go sit with my son. And my son is just 2. He's probably going to be watching TV most of the time, but just like you said, talking to him like as if he's even knowing. Because I think a lot of the time as well, parents are too busy these days. And when I say too busy, I mean, I can think typically of so many other things I can do and not go home because it feels like I have to be there. But I think that this is my number one priority, because if I'm trying to build something on the outside and my inside is not properly built, I almost feel like I'm living a fake life, or it's not flowing in what it really is. So for me, I really think that it's that time, and that time in actually, even though you seem like you don't really understand, but just being there, listening, and let him begin to build even what that child should know about life.
Fantastic. Give him a hand. He doesn't get a book, but give him a hand. There is something. Dami has sounded, I mean, I like what he said, but you like Louis Vuitton bags? Anybody likes Louis Vuitton? Dolce & Gabbana? Just be free. You don't know, maybe I'm giving them out today. You like Prada? It costs money. You are the one who said you like this. So the parents are busy working so you can go on summer, those who go for summer, or pretend to go for summer, whichever one you like. You know, so you have to help the parents here. Can you comment? Because they want the good things of life. The parents are trying to get it. At the same time, do you want us to spend time with you? Are you sure? Time with you. Time. Nah, time. If somebody said no, she don't. You see, now you're confusing us. Parents should spend time with their kids. Hands up. No, they shouldn't even spend time with you. They should just write you a check. Hands up. You see now? This is a confusion. It's both. You want the checks and... Now, if you have to choose between the checks and the time, which would you choose? You are going to have to vote. Okay, the time people, hands up, wave. Let them see you downstairs. They check people. You see where the problem is? Are 2 generations talking now? So you send them out because some people want the check and they don't want the time. Sorry? Time is money. I think that's somebody very sharp there. Are you trying to say that if they spend time with you, then it costs money? Okay. What do you have to say? Welcome, JT.
Okay. So, when I was a kid, I think at age 5, I started reading magazines. My dad would ensure that as he's reading his magazine, he's giving it to me to read. You know, that is how I grew up. Now, at some point, he became busy because he became somebody in society, so he didn't have that time any longer. So I was not seeing him as I used to, right? Now, I'm trying to marry time and money together. Now, he had to do what he had to do to give us the life that we lived at the time, right? But at the same time, what he also tried to do was that every time he spent with us was quality. So if he wasn't going to be around for 3 months, when he comes back, he drops everything he's doing and concentrates on us, right? And that makes up for his absence. Now, I have kids. I have 2 kids, 2 beautiful kids. Now,
they are beautiful.
My daughter is someone who asks questions, like every question you can think of. You know, she'll ask you, Daddy, why is it that you cannot go to the kitchen and make your food and bring it to the dining and eat? Why are they serving you? So as a parent, how will I answer that question? So all I will do is that, you know what? Mommy just wants to be very helpful to Daddy, so she has to help Daddy do this so that Daddy can have more time to go and do other things. Now, I had to explain it to her. So last Christmas, they were away from me, they traveled. And my daughter asked me again, why are you not traveling with us? And I said, you know what, I'll be speaking to you every day, but I have to stay back to take care of certain things that I'll be able to provide for the family. Now, a lot of times, parents don't know that when you talk to your children, they listen, no matter how old they are. They listen to you. And when they listen to you, a child just wants that reinforcement from the parents to be able to be bold, to be able to say what they need to say and do what they need to do. The reason why kids are bullied is because there's no backbone from the home, right? True or false? So when they have that backbone from the home, they will not be bullied because they know that their dad, their mom will stand and fight for them.
In one word, my daddy will beat you. That's what I was just saying. My daddy will beat you. So, Tola wanted to say something. Okay.
Yeah, so I wanted to, the lady who was, and this is not personal, it's a learning point, right? So I want to bring out a learning point. When Mrs. A was talking about the checks all time, you were very adamant that it was the checks. Any particular reason? It's a symptom of the kind of things that are going on in the society. So it goes, this money over time or money over quality is what it is, right? So it's not necessarily time, it's quality. Money over quality. It's pervasive in the society now, not just with parents. So even in relationships, I'm sure Mrs. A is going to jump on this. It's pervasive in relationships, in marriages. It's pervasive in marriages. And somehow we have it has trickled down from from marriages and relationships, even into parenthood, where people think that a substitute for something that is, do I want to say covenants, parents, husband, can be substituted with money. And then if you go back in the States, right, or if you look at celebrities who have all the money in the world, all the money, in fact, they don't know what to do with their money, you realize that they're one of the most dysfunctional, depressed people. And again, this thing, maybe we will go into it when it comes to relationships, because that answer for questions is the reason why men, I don't know, in Nigeria, think that money is the key to every woman.
Can you give her a hand?
You might not have seen the connection, but it was just as I just realized it's a connection. If having the person, especially in formative years, right, where what you unlearn are from your primary providers, which are your parents or whoever is the parent to you at the time. And these are the time society, or they form you into who goes into society. Do you understand? And it's the sieve, the glasses in which you go into society. So if you are well built at home, you go into society, regardless of the pressures that's coming from outside, money or whatever, you can't stand. But if it's just a check that has been written to you all the time, I beg of you to just Google any kid of any billionaire in the States or any celebrity in the States and see what a check over money results in.
Give her a hand. It's hard to answer, but it's what it is. Somebody said social media and peer pressure is part of what, because somebody answered that, we didn't address it. Social media and peer pressure is what is causing depression. It is a shame what economic circumstances have reduced the youth to, and even the adults of this country. Now, we can say we will replace a living, breathing human being with a check. And we can proudly say it and whoop for ourselves as we're saying it, which in other times would actually be considered a sign of depravity. So somebody said on social media, when I showed the fine boys of this panel, and said, fine boy is money. I'm like, there is no amount of money that can make Jay-Z look fine. Jay-Z is Jay-Z. Yes. It is who he is. He's a celebrity. I can like him. I cannot. See, monkey no fine. A mama like her like that. But it does not change what is. I'm hoping a new generation will arise who have their values aligned. You understand? Yeah, you can clap. Don't worry. How does social media put you under pressure? Speak for yourself. Don't speak for your friend. social media? How does this put you under pressure?
Good evening. I would like to proceed by saying I've been clinically depressed. Like, I have been diagnosed as depressed. And social media, in a way...
First, you want to give her a hand for being... Yes. Because part of the reason why depression is on the rise in this society is because it's underdiagnosed. It's in this book, too. We don't own up to being depressed. In America, it may be overdiagnosed, but in Nigeria, it's completely underdiagnosed.
So, for me, like you said, speak to yourself. For me, social media has become a way where I compare myself to people. So I look at Instagram, for example, and I'm seeing everybody looks nice, everybody is going to different places.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it might just be audio money, like Peter said. But I look at them and then I compare, and then the next thing I'm looking at, oh, okay, my peers are here, but I'm there when I should be here. Meanwhile, they're probably, I don't want to say they're lying, but it might not be as I'm seeing it. So yeah, comparison, exactly, is what social media.
Can you give her a hand? In fact, she should get 2 books, but let's just give her 1. She'll get 2, 1 to give to her friend. Well, you said something. You said it might be audio money, which means you know it is not real. Right. So when you know it's not real, why is it affecting you? Can somebody give me an answer? Answer the question you asked. You know it is not real. How can something that is fake, if somebody gave you a fake 10,000 note, would you take it? Yes or no? 10,000 naira note, will you take it? Because it is fake. Okay, so why are you being affected by Instagram posts that you know are fake?
It's because when we think in pictures. Even the word imagination comes from the Latin word image. So when social media has found a way of not only telling you that this person has gone ahead of you, but it has found a way of showing it to you. And images are very hard to take away from the mind. No matter how unreal something is, your brain will keep replaying it and replaying it because it gets into the unconscious part of your brain. And it cannot take it out. You cannot take it out. No matter how hard you try.
Okay, he has learned his lesson. He has gotten a book. We cannot hear him, but it doesn't matter. Give him the hand. Now, good. Because we are building an awesome generation, right? We are building people who run for mayor, run for governor. When they ask questions, they answer the question. Because it is very important, because people ask you what they're interested in. Social media, I'm still not satisfied. I have a problem. It is fake. It might be as I'm watching a movie, right? I know it is a movie. Why am I killing myself when I see Superman not dying? When I know that if I try it, I will die. Why do I have a problem? There's a guy here in one nice trad. Clap for him as he gets up. See the way he does respect himself and what is wearing. Okay, DDK, you are saying something now. You need to help us here because this is a question I always grapple with. It is fake, but yet it affects me.
Focus. When you watch that movie, you find out that when you keep looking at something, even if it's not real, your subconscious mind begins to do them. Even when you know this thing is not true, because you keep looking at it, you just find out that you're doing it. Even when you know it's not true, but it has entered into your mind. It has registered into your mind, so you just find yourself doing it. So that's what that movie is all about. And I think the same thing applies for social media. You know this thing is not true at all, but in your subconscious mind, because you keep looking at it, so it becomes part of you, and then you start doing it.
Okay, we're going to have to get the uncles here to help us. And this is it. What then is our way out? We know it is not true, but somehow, I don't know, we're looking at it and it's doing something.
I have 2 kids, 13 and 11.
DDK, we're coming to you.
And so what I realized, my son is on Instagram. I found out one day when he liked my picture. I was like, who is this? All right. And so I decided I'm not going to cut him off, but of course there's a bit of control. I think that people that have low self-esteem are more susceptible to this in a very large. And the reason why many children have that is because the primary source is supposed to be from the parents.
Yes.
So the parents are meant to be affirming the kids, no matter your economic level. They keep telling you that you're somebody, you're beautiful, you keep saying the right things to them. Once you have that, you are able to face society. So that's one of the big gaps we have.
Can you give him a hand? All right. Let's say this is $10,000. Do you really think $10,000 can tell you you're beautiful and you'll believe? Why do you think that black people dress to the nth like we do? Do you know why we do it? See, to be white, you can be white and dress anyhow. It's considered dressing down. It just shows that you don't really care. So like Bill Gates, you can wear the same sweater all the time. And what it means is that you're so rich, you don't care. Or Omo, you are black. You have to wear your net worth on yourself. Not your net worth, but it's called signaling. People must be able to see the minute they see you, from your watch, from your shoes, from your belt, who you are. I'm not saying you should do it. I'm explaining why people do it. And why some people will borrow and steal to fake it till they make it. Now the truth is you cannot fake it till you make it. Because when we press, we will see who you really are. All you have to do is open your mouth and we will know who did not spend time with wisdom. Simple. So what I will say, instead of spending all that money building the outside, can we build the inside? But you know what? You're already building the inside. You're awesome. Clap for yourself. You did the right thing. But this is why blacks are into labels like this. Because of our self-esteem. Because the world judges us as soon as it sees us. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? But I think there is a better way. It is when the people whose opinion matters to us tell us that we're worth it. When your mother and your father who know you the best, when your uncles, your aunties say, don't worry, the fact that you failed once does not make you a failure, you are worth it, you are not what you do, you are who you are, until who you are matches up with what you do. Do you get what I'm trying to say? This is why, yes, we do agree with you. I agree with you. Parents actually need to pay attention to their children. If you can't pay attention to your children, why have them? Why have them? DDK, what is the solution?
So what the men said about the power of imaging is true. But what is also true, and maybe is a greater truth, is that every time you are confronted with an information that is accessing your mind and trying to gain access to your subconscious mind, it begins to war against what is existing in your subconscious mind. So the thought patterns and the neural pathways in your brain that are strongest will consistently win. So it is true that images come at you, but what images find in you as grounded, existing pathways of thinking and perception is where the war really is. So you would find that we are interacting with the same content on Instagram, but is doing different things to us. When a person hasn't found an identity that is deep-seated, and that is what is called an irrevocable persuasion about self-estimation, until that identity is deeply rooted and grounded, when the conflict happens with new images that say to you, you are not doing a lot, you are not that beautiful, you are not that smart, people are getting ahead, you are not having enough fun, people are doing better. When those images come in conflict, as they would always do, those images are searching for what is called a mental core. The absence of a mental core is what gets you, and the Holy Book calls it being tossed to and fro with every wind of doctrine. So it speaks to the fact indeed that we're in the right direction. The formative years of between 3 and 7 years, when the right identity or any kind of identity is formed, if those years are missed, as you go ahead, you are constantly searching. And the 3 big things you are searching for is to be heard, is to have a sense of belonging, and is to actualize your dreams. So that's a legit desire in your heart. But until identity is fixed, every new image is going to not find a mental core, and so you keep becoming a victim of those images. How do you fix this? Acknowledge that there's a dysfunction. And in acknowledging that there's a dysfunction, you stop targeting just knowledge for the conscious level, but processed knowledge for the subconscious level. So that is why it's possible for you to attend 20 seminars, read 30 books, and take 5 e-courses, but you're the same person at the end of the year. Because it's not about the knowledge, it's about your active learning metabolism. Until you're able to convert that knowledge into the way you now think, inside, it won't change. So here's breaking it down from all the big English. 3 things that can help you process knowledge to move you from conscious to subconscious is number 1, what is called intellectual humility. Acknowledge you don't know as much as you think you know. So stop sniggering at everyone and saying they lie. No, not everyone is lying. Some people are actually radicalizing their lives. So it is intellectual humility that brought you into this room. Second thing is take the reins of your life, and you do that by making sure your inner man is hearing your own voice. So you must have your affirmations. You are making them constantly. In Yoruba language, it's called elemiloma last. As a thought is coming against you, you must have the final say. You don't matter. I actually matter. You are not that smart. I'm extremely smart. I just need to leverage knowledge to gain opportunities, etc. And then the final thing is change your community. The more you see people like this, the more you gravitate in the direction of success.
So can you give her a hand? Fantastic. So I asked Uncle Dami to help us put it into English.
Mrs. A, I concur.
I like that.
I concur. But I think what she said, and the word just came to me while she was talking, intentional. Intentional. You must intentionally not focus on those things that are allowing you do these things. So for example, I know there's some people who once I see, I won't follow. I just know that I don't want to follow.
Exactly.
Let me follow those who would inspire me and those who, like she said, there's value and there's content. Everybody sees the glory. People don't see the story. But every time I meet someone who I know I admire their glory, you know what I tell them? I say, I don't want to know the glory. I don't want to know. Just tell me your story. Because I believe there's so many things for me to learn. So be intentional. I think it's about being intentional about who you're following and what you're looking at.
Give him a hand. Thank you so much. Thank you, DDK. Thank you, Uncle Dami. Okay, very quickly. Because,
Who you follow will determine where you get to. It's not your choice. As you are following them, where they are going, you arrive there too. The only choice you have is whether we follow you or not.
Fantastic. So it makes sense. Who you follow will determine your destination. So you don't have to follow everybody because they have many followers. I'm shocked at the people that people follow. You don't want to be like them and you're following them. Because of the self-esteem issues, there's some things, some props in life that we cannot let go of. You understand what I'm saying? Even Dami has this interesting story. How did you manage when you had to give up something that was very precious to you once? How did your self-esteem take it? What did it do to your self-esteem?
Okay, so this is my story. I was working in VI and I used to live in Ibutemeta. And I remember being somewhere and I just heard, it says, sow your car. And I said, sow, no, S-O-L-D. No, it says sow, S-O-W, sow your car. This was me, young Christian, just, starting out thinking, who sows? What do you mean by sow? What am I sow? So anyway, I disobeyed for like a few months. And I saw one of my mentors and he said, he said, partial disobedience is disobedience. Partial disobedience is disobedience. So long and short of the story, that day, I said, okay, I need a confirmation. Give me a confirmation of you want me to sow this car. To who? Give me a confirmation. So that day in church, I was sharing the communion and there were like 100 people who approached me. Only one person shook my hand. And that was the same person God had told me, sow this car into their lives. So that day when my mentor spoke to me, I went back, I remember, dropped the car. They said, what are you doing? I said, this is what God said I should do. And I got home, I cried that day. Only for the couple to tell me that for 6 months, they've been trying to buy a car. And they've been trying to loan and rent the money. But they were saying, in fact, the wife now got tired and said, God, can't you even just give us this car without us even having to take a loan or anything? And that was where me had been delaying since, but God now made me do it. That broke something in me. But guess what? 3 years down the line, God came again with the same test. And I was thinking, God, but I've passed this test. I can sow the car. I can sow the car. And this time was probably one of the best cars I've ever had in my life. And it was white. It was nice. It was.
I can see he likes white.
No. So it came again, and I had to do it again. And this time, there was a lot of contention from my family. You're stupid. How could you have done this? This is wrong. This car was given to you as a gift. What right do you have to sew the car? I did it. But guess what? It totally broke something in me. And that's what you call being able to give up some of these things that you think that you so demand and are chasing after. Because when you can give up those things, then those things will begin to look for you and they begin to chase after you.
Fantastic. What he's trying to say is that seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. All other things will be added unto you. You know what? You can never attract what you are not. So the truth is, even if you get checks upon checks upon checks, until the inner man, the person within you, is worth that quality, it doesn't stay. Meaning, when people win the lottery, and they get $1 million, you know the story, exactly. You get $1 million. You are very quickly reduced to where you were before you won the lottery. So checks cannot solve your life's problems. You need to be at that point that you can carry the weight of glory that God wants to drop upon your life. Do you understand what I'm saying? So somebody said to Henry Ford, what Henry Ford, for instance, so some don't know, was the one who invented the motor car on a commercial level. Let's put it that way. Created the first auto line to create motor cars. They said, what if you lose everything you have now? He said, I don't mind, because in 5 years, I will build it all again. So instead of chasing the checks, chase that ability to make the checks. That's what you need. If you don't clap for me, it's still okay. My self-esteem is rock solid. I've been clapped for by the greatest fool in the world. So you can't even... When people talk, I say, I've been beefed by the best. So your own beef, I don't see it. Who are you? I can't see you. So how are people coping with this lack of self-esteem? I'm going to need someone to join us. Can we grab a chair for Dr. Dokun Adedeji? Dr. Dokun, please tell us what you do, very briefly.
My name is Dokun Adedeji. I'm the Director General of a faith-based NGO called CADAM, Christ Against Drug Abuse Ministry. We rehabilitate drug addicts. That's what I now do. I used to be a doctor.
If you don't have any questions, it's all right. We can go to the next segment. But if you do, this is your opportunity. What can we do as parents? Is it all right to check?
Thank you very much, Jumoke. You know, when you were talking with the panelist, something came to my mind. In psychology, there are 3 components of the human person. The first one is called id, ID. That is genetic. There's nothing you can do about it. The second one is called ego, E-G-O. It is not about arrogance or pride, but what it essentially means is the essence of who you are. Who am I? That is what it speaks to. The third one is called superego. The superego should be good, but it's extremely dangerous. Because what it does is anything that is external to you that has influence on the way you think is a superego. Like, for instance, your dad comes home when you want to write jam. And he buys the form, he says, when I went to my friend's house, you know that your friend Jide, he was feeling medicine. That is saying something. It's silly. I tell you know, the greatest thing you can now is parents need to be parents again. You know why I'm worried? Look, I've been in this ministry since 1992. I have seen stuff, I break down sometimes. A man came to the office with a son, a final year student in the university, because we rehabilitate university students as well. When they rusticate them, they send them to us. So he sat down, the boy 19, final year, computer science. So I asked the man, he was talking, I said, excuse me, you are the MD of a company. Do you have a 19-year-old manager? He said, no. I said, where are you pushing your child to? Who is going to employ him at 19 to be a manager if you don't prepare him mentally? You know, one thing we do, we bribe our children with gifts. Checks is 0. Because checks will go. The essence of you needs to stand. And that is what we're missing. And that's why I feel sorry for the young people, honestly. When I see them, I break down. But now we also rehabilitate parents and talk to them. And what do I mean? Let me tell you something, young people. You also have a major fault. And I'll tell you how. Don't be rude. Stand up. When your dad says this, don't be rude. You know what usually happens is when your dad says read medicine, you don't even know what you want to read. Unless you know what you want to read, it doesn't matter. Jimmy Carter wrote a book. He called it Why Not Be the Best. The cover is a tailor. Visage. He'll figure out the things you wear. They're tailors. Not better than mama under quarters in your house. But what did they put? They put a touch of themselves. And that's why everybody buys them. Would you like to put a touch of who you are on yourself? And look, let me tell you, no matter who you pretend to be, nobody's going to like you for what you are. You better be like yourself first. If you don't like yourself, nobody can like you. Then they tell you the things you don't want to hear and you believe them. But it comes from home. Too many parents think. I said to a man, he said, oh, I'm building 4 houses for my child. I said, you are wasting your time. My father had us 6. No one of 6 is living in his house. If he was running around building, he was wasting his time encouraging those ego. Girls want to marry. What do you discuss with your boyfriend? Oh, your hair is good. I like your nails. Silly talk. If you don't talk about values, that is the only thing that can sustain your marriage. Because the day the hair is gone, the love is gone. You know, it's a lot of things. I wish you had time. I like the fact that you have youth together. I love to be with the youth because they need to discover themselves. Okay. The one thing I like, if you live here, if you can, get a book by Barack Obama, Dreams from My Father.
Okay. Clap for Dr. Doku Adedeji. We're loading. So it's basically saying you're in the right place. You need to discover purpose. If you don't discover your purpose, anybody will give their own to you. So your father wanted to study medicine. He didn't study medicine. He wants you to study medicine. It's a very simple thing. They want to live their lives vicariously through you. People are asking me, I've got 2 sons. Which one of them is studying architecture? None. And I did not put pressure on anybody. Do you get what I'm saying? Who are you? Nobody can answer that question for you. You must answer it for yourself. And don't try and be anybody else. Don't try and be a copycat. Be yourself. Everybody else is taken. Have the confidence to be yourself. Do you get? Any questions? Because if there are none, we're actually moving on. I like the fact that the question came very quickly in the bow tie. Someone cannot wear a bow tie and not ask a question. It's not right. You should be caught on camera. Clap for him. If not for him, at least for the bow tie.
From those people that are poor, how can they develop their self-esteem?
I like that question. First, you want to clap for him. And then someone is giving him this book for that fantastic question. Who wants to answer? Dr. Doku, you answer. You have the floor.
Okay, I think the way I'm going to answer is this. I'll tell you the story of Moses in the Bible. When God met Moses in the wilderness, he said to him, come back to Egypt to free my people. Moses gave all kinds of excuses. And God said, I know, you can't talk, I have Aaron. This. And then he then said to him, eventually Moses said, look, I don't have anything. How can I go and face Pharaoh? God said, what is in your hand? He said, a rod. Throw it down, it became a serpent. He said, pick it up, it became the rod. Excuse me. All throughout Egypt, he used nothing apart from the rod. What am I saying? Everything, every individual needs to be who God wants him to be. He has it. Don't go looking out. Look, let me tell you. The Bible is clear. We all can be rich. You understand what I'm saying? People have come out of Mushi and they are governors. People have come from VI, they are armed robbers. It is not circumstances of life, it's what you define. I hope you understand. I understand. You see, because what you are allowing to happen, you are coloring your vision with what you see. You don't need it. Put a mirror in front of you and say, this is who I would like to be in 10 years' time. Believe me, if you look long and hard at it, you will.
Please notice he didn't say, this is whose bank account I would like to have in 10 years' time. Because money comes and goes, but who you become, nobody can take it from you. Do you understand? And I will keep saying it. I'm a businesswoman. Sometimes I'm better than others. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But who I am and the ability I have to make that wealth, nobody can take it away from me. I promised a lady in pink.
Okay, my name is Umo Essen. How does a child whose parents did not have parents and they're not able to bring up their child in the way they should, how does that child cope in a society as big as this? Like,
okay, we hear you. Dr. Doku, I know you've come across this a lot. So practically, how somebody who didn't, most of the times that's what even happens, really. The parents cannot parent because they weren't parented. That's what really, so you will have to go back home and have mercy on your parents. I'm not joking. You will forgive your parents because you cannot give what you don't have.
I understand that pain. I do. But one thing that is important is this: find yourself. There are a lot of people, as Jumoke said, that are married. They look seemingly happy, but they're living a life that was denied them. So many times what they do to their children is as a result of what happened to them. A man will say, I don't want my child to go through what I went through, and you pamper and destroy the child. Or again, you say, when we were kids, you couldn't do this, and then you do that to your kid. You deny them freedom. One of the greatest threats to young people today is lack of self-expression, because parents take it away from them. And it means sorrow, it wants sorrow. It means babe. The father does not have to be right all the time. Yes. That's one thing. But it takes wisdom on your part to sit down, think about this deeply, and go to him. Let me tell you something about parents. They're not as what you think. I've said it to many of the people in our ministry. Just go to them when you have thought properly about what you want, and then wake your dad. And daddy, I would like to talk to you. And, what do you want to say? Oh, daddy, just listen. You will say, is that what you want to say? He will walk away, but he won't sleep. I tell you that, he won't sleep. Then 2 days I will say, are you serious about what you said? Now tell me more about it. You are beginning to get them. But if you are intransigent and you want to be rebellious, you're done. So, but what is important from what the lady said is, yes, you may be denied parenting and whatever, but you need to sit down and discover yourself. And then in doing that, because you will need yourself for your children, or else they will live the life you lived, and then you're lost.
It's trying to say, I'm going to take this as the last one. It's trying to say it's going to become generational. What happened to your parents, you will repeat. Make it happen to your children, who will repeat it. And that's not what we want, is that. I think we can say we can end this session now. Sako, can we hand over to you?
Let's put our hand together, all the panelists.